Okay, so let's start by. All right, my name is FinalHarps, and I'm joined here with Toostupidgamerz, as I'm pretty sure everyone's literate enough to read on the screen.
I'm one half of Toostupidgamerz.
Yeah, still another one is
Nanners.
your Nanners. The other one's Zero, right?
Yep. That's
All right. Well, what we're here to discuss is recently Nanners here put up a channel in Discord that was asking how to improve his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if that was exactly worded, but that's pretty much it. I don't want to load it up and have all Discord showing, and because we're using Discord to do this. So yeah.
It's very
God damn, I got a host. Yay! Oh, hi, Toostupidgamerz. It's been a long time.
What's up?
What up?
Yeah, so that was 100% the impetus for it for this very podcast style debate.
Yes, and it was a lot of little random stuff. And what's up, Soul Mist? I'm glad I saw that on my phone. Otherwise, I would forgot to put my chat up. How you doing tonight? All right, so you put that up, and I watched. Not the recent one at the time was your, I think, Mage Fest or your adventure you went on.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow, why is there like a 6-second delay before even the video starts? Why was this? But I digressed. And I went to your next video and it didn't grab my attention. And it was YouTube playing a first-person shooter, split screen. Didn't really pay attention to what it was because I know you and I just wanted to watch something of yours, and I had it on the background. And it, like, there was some cool moments that you highlighted, but with the state of how YouTube and gaming is now, it kind of sucks for us just wanting to play a game and show people that. And the thing is, and no, I'm not ready to play, don't even think yet. After this debate and discussion, I will be. So when I watched it, I'm like, okay, I like it. I like you guys. I'm very good. I like chilling and listening and watching stuff. But I'm also 34, so I'm cool with that kind of stuff. But as I see the younger generation and what they do is, if you ever watch TikTok, the first few frames, if it does not catch their attention, they move on. They just scroll. So if your thumbnail does not grab someone's attention, if your title and description does not pop up and grab someone's attention, and then at that first few frames don't grab anyone's attention, all those things have to combine to be able to work. And if they don't grab someone's attention like this and just like that, they're not going to stay. Now, if you got to the point where they clicked on your video and then they have to wait to see what they're going to see, people aren't really going to like stay with it, because the only intros I've seen that are in like the higher end YouTubers, there's really not too many intros in the higher end ones. It's mostly like they get to the point in the middle, like the newer ones, they get to the point of what the video is, like right off the bat, talk about it for a little bit, and then roll the intro. Like even Alpha Gaming does that. Maximilian's the only one right off the bat does this let's go, but it catches your eyes, a cool animation, cutscene, and you just want to know what's going to happen, even though you just want to listen to it because it's such a badass track.
Right.
Let me hear your side from what I've said so far.
Sure. Again, first off, thank you for having me on here. This is really cool. I've never done anything like this before.
I've always wanted to do this. It's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the base can be pretty cool. So yeah, so you came in and I see you dropped Maximilian, Shenpai, Ryukar, all these examples, and we just went back and forth and back and forth. And my general stance is that while I agree that the things that you say can help and oftentimes will help, I mean, you have firsthand account of these things helping. I take more of a artistic, creative perspective, I guess you could say. I was thinking how to phrase it. I feel like I'm a bit more hippie-lipped about this. Like, I think that while these things would be great and they would drive traffic to our channels, I want to promote the type of content we want to make specifically above above anything and everything else. And even just outside of Two Stupid Gamers, I honestly just do video editing because it's fun. I like to put my own gaming opinions on the internet. I've been doing it for probably about like close to 7, maybe 8 years in like different capacities. So I'm just interested in finding people to talk to about video games. I'm interested in voicing what I feel, because I don't just play games. I feel really strongly about them. So I have this creator first type of perspective on it, and I do have also a bunch of other arguments. So I don't know how you plan on structuring this, but yeah, I mean, let's go.
We're just gonna roll with it and what happens. Pretty much like, all right, what are your goals? Because this is what I'll base it off of. What are your goals on YouTube? Are you trying? I'm gonna ask these questions. Are you trying to make it your career? Are you literally just making it a hobby where it can generate a little bit of revenue on the side? Or are you trying to make this like your actual full-time and then have a side hustle at home? Like, say you got like a random part-time job you work to compensate the other stuff that your main YouTube channel is not compensating, or Twitch. Like,
right. Yeah. So starting off with goals, to me, I remember hearing this in another YouTube video talking about a different content creator, but I really like the idea of this is a fun hobby where it pays for itself. So if you do get some subs, if you do get some bits, you can end up, buying a game. You could buy like a better camera equipment or something like that. I would say I've definitely gotten a bit higher than that, because I do throw in a lot of money to like buy lighting equipment and like see what I can really
of course
improve the camera, like with like buy new lenses, buy new like little upgrades to the camera. So I would say I'm like hobby enthusiast, to be honest, but I'm really not trying to get to a career necessarily, because my other point that I made in that long body of like back and forth we had is that I felt, and I still pretty much believe that I feel like taking it to the career would ruin the fun for me personally.
Okay.
So,
Oh, that's a definite. Whenever you start doing something full time, it kind of takes away the fun. But that's where how you get that fun back is doing it at the peak hours that you can function at. Like for me, like I said, between 10 a.m. Oh yeah, and thank you for the host, Kuga. Thank you for that. And let me get back. What was I saying? Between 10 a.m. and like 1 p.m. are like my peak hours of like working. Between those 3 to 5 hours, because sometimes it could be the 3, I'm like really focused. I want to keep going. I want to get stuff done. Anything after that or before, my production value drops drastically. I noticed that with content creation. So it kind of sucks for me because I'm stuck at work every day. And then when it comes to my day off, I sleep till like 1.
Yeah.
Anyway, but if you're trying to do it as a hobby, then you're doing exactly what you need to do. You're creating what you want. You got your cool edits in there. I mean, my favorite, Solmus, thank you for the host, man. What I thought was really cool, like towards the beginning of the Super Mario 64 one, is that you start cracking jokes about the title, and you took the thing and then threw it and broke something. I thought that was hilarious. Even my son was like, oh, that was cool. And we got like 10 minutes later, Zero dropped the F-bomb, which if you're trying to monetize, you won't be able to monetize that video. And but if you're trying to be a hobby enthusiast, then you're doing fine. Like there's like no real actual debate here, because you're doing exactly what you want. Now, I thought you mentioned it. What's up? I saw you earlier follow me. Thank you for that. I can't really, Dr. 3WBJ. I like the BJ part, but I don't know how to say your name actually. Sorry.
I think it's PBJ.
PBJ?
Like peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Oh, peanut butter and PBJ. Okay, there we go. Drew. We'll stick with that one. Now, since like for you, there is no longer a debate. You're doing exactly what you want. You'll eventually meet people. You'll have people come randomly in your channel. Like, that's how I met you. And you'll grow at a very slow but steady rate. You'll find actual fans, good job, Toostupidgamerz. That was really good. You figured it out, Drew. And you'll have slow but steady growth. It will take time, but you will get there. But like, if you're now, let's stack it up to where you want to make this your second time job, like your part-time job, where you actually want to make a substantial income where it guarantees a pay for of this hobby where you could buy games off of it and you don't have to worry about it cutting into your normal cost of like your family, your everyday bills that you got to pay.
Yeah.
Now to do that, this is because that's my goal right now, is kind of like make it my second thing where it pays all the things paid for herself, anything that my son wants for this kind of stuff, and my wife wants for other stuff, where this hobby helps pay for everything. I took a step back after making about 10 videos. I realized they're pretty dumb. Like there was no point for them. There was no one's gonna watch these. They're just gameplay. But there was no editing. On your videos you have slight editing, which keeps it pretty cool. I took a step back and then I decided, okay, I'm gonna try guides, because someone said you should try a guide. I'm like, okay. And that's when I made that the guide on how to get the legendary farm in Borderlands 3, and that's how I made the Agonizer 9000 guide. And I only made that guide because that was the only boss I got stuck with. And I'm like, you know what, someone's gonna want to watch this. Well, thank you, man. Thank you for sending him in. And I only made that guide to see if it would work and if I could do it, because I don't have like the whole extra like animations added in like you do. I don't have that skills on video editing. So I just like randomly threw a guide together, and somehow it's like at almost 14,000 views. I'm like, wow, this is actual success. Even though at the time it was getting like, it only had like 200 views like right off the bat. Wow, this is actually doing really good. And I enjoyed making it because I like helping people. I like giving people information. Like I like showing people, hey, I did this and it worked. It might not work for you, but you should at least try it. And I started doing that with all other guys. They didn't do as well, but they got decent amount of views, and I can't complain because like the next guys I started making were Code Vein. And I realized that's a very niche game. It might pick up like down the line, but it still was something I made, and it taught me a lot of stuff. And now I'm dabbling in topics like this, and what is it? Like new stuff like TikTok. TikTok has right now a real big problem of banning content creators for no reason, and then sometimes bringing them back or not bringing them back. It just depends on what they want. While they'll have straight up bullies, there was someone did a duet of my wife's video, and it was me, my wife, and my son. And it was that take 2 steps forward if you had a father figure in your family or in your life when you were growing up. Take 2 steps forward if you never had to worry about your phone bill. Take 2 steps forwards if you never had to help your parents with the bills. It was that inspirational thing. That video almost is at 1 million views.
Jesus Christ.
And yes, exactly. Her account blew up. But there was people duetting it and putting so much hate in the comments, and we reported them, and their videos are still up. While my wife, we did a TikTok where she exits a door, she closes a door and is holding a hammer and says, "No one died." And that's it, and put the hammer behind her back. That video got taken down for terms of service, or breaking community guidelines. And we're like, what? But as I kind of digress, is that all of this stuff, I'm going to be talking about that stuff because that's relatable topics. And with like my videos and what I'm trying to go forward with is talk about topics that are new, topics that are relatable, and on top of writing guides for games. And I noticed that if you're staying on top of like writing guides, doing topics that are new and relatable, you'll get more traffic in your channel. And I made a video about that particular TikTok video getting taken down, that if you're making videos for TikTok and you keep going up in viewership, one of your videos is going to get pulled. Then you're going to go up and another one's going to get pulled for no reason. And you could try to fight it. Most of the time you'll lose, but there is no way of fighting it. There's no, like, TikTok is pretty stupid, and that's not even YouTube, but that's like another form of growing. You grow on TikTok, you could bring them to YouTube. You grow on those two channels, you could bring them to Twitch. You grow on Twitch, you could bring them to here. That's how it works. Everything works as a whole. And TikTok's the fastest way to grow. That's godlike. And then you got YouTube, and then you got like Mixer and Twitch at like the floorboards because they suck at trying to get people to be known.
I would actually say that Twitch is probably better than YouTube. At least in our experience, it's definitely been, because we've been doing YouTube for 3 years and we're almost at 200. And I've been doing Twitch for just about a year and it's already over 100. So I would say it feels like twice as fast. Not to mention, shout outs to Kugla. He did point this out, that Twitch also gives small content creators the opportunity to already make some money right off the bat.
Yeah.
So you just have to get affiliated. You have to do that first. It's not like anybody could just do it. I mean, you still have a like a hurdle to go over first. But compared to where YouTube is at, it's like night and day. YouTube is almost impossible at this point to make money off of if you're progressing at such a slow rate, you know?
Yes.
Like at this level.
Well, that's where like the whole type of content and what people are hungry for is what you create. Now, Twitch is all about, hi, holy crap, this happened right now. YouTube's about, look, I'm going to make this little clip and I'm going to put like, oh God, this guy died from my care package, put right before it hits him. And I can't even remember it. Fuck. And at this moment, he realized he fucked up. And then smack. And, or like, I got 6 kills in a row. Like, boom, quack, have a duck, 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 duck. And then I died right at that goose. Like silly stuff like that. But for a compilation video, you want to put like little stuff like that and make it hilarious, so that people are like still watching, still consuming. Like, wow, I'm watching this. These are some epic plays and stupid plays, and it's funny at the same time. And since you're doing that, like for a compilation, you could do that. Now for Let's Plays, you got to do the same thing. If you want, like, you got to make it comedic. Like you have, like, for example, your video, your Super Mario one, you have a lot of comedic moments, but they're too spread out far apart. I had my son sit down and watch it, and I said, how did you like it? He's like, no offense to you guys, because I enjoyed it. He's like, it was boring. It didn't keep my attention. And I'm like, right. Okay, I can see that. He's only 11, but nowadays who you're trying to get are like the children crowd. You want the children crowd because there's millions of them compared to us adults, and they have all the time in the world while we don't have time in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, that's absolutely true.
But as I said, if you're going for a hobby, you're fine. You're golden. Like, seriously, you are fucking golden. I like what you do. I got to do too many bleeps already. Damn it.
and that's where it's at too. Is like, so you want to look at like some people that inspired like me personally to start all this kind of stuff. I really liked the Super Best Friends. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but they were just literally just 2 guys that were just playing games, and their rise to popularity is kind of it's like the polar opposite of what counts as, you know, like, oh, that's successful YouTube content right there. And I think I kind of took a lot of inspiration from that, because I like that they did it different. I like that they were raw. I like that their editing style may have been out of date, but it didn't matter because they had a rabid fan base. People love them. If you ever heard of the Yakuza games are popular in the West, partially or largely in part due to those guys. They never did any calls to action. They didn't really have merch. They did have an intro. Their intro was like, I would say somewhere in the range of 6 to 7 seconds. But it's different though. It's not like branded so much. It was, they would take a screenshot of something silly from the episode. They played a loop of I think it's Gourmet Race from Kirby, and then they would just put like, two best friends play, or super best friends play, what have you. And yeah, I mean, I like that someone can thrive not doing it the exact same way as like everybody else.
And not partaking in the formula that I'm studying to be able to grow upon. They just naturally had growth like you're having.
Yeah, because, or them specifically, because I guess what it is they probably struck gold, whereas most people can't do it with that formula. They do have to follow the golden rules. Just to play devil's advocate, to say, like, let's say I did want to make this my career, I still am not comfortable with the idea of, let's take your content and let's do it this way, or let's specifically tailor your content to make it a specific way. I would like to believe that in perseverance, with time and experience, and by developing skills, you can actually just get popular by doing it the way that you like to do it. I mean,
well, people will see that. People will see it, like, when you do stuff and you actually enjoy doing it, people will see it in the content you create. They'll see that energy, the positivity, the goodness of it, and that's what you got going for you. Like, you could tell you're enjoying this, and that's, like, I really am. In the end, that's all that matters. I'm
literally rendering a video right now. So it's like, I just do it all the time. It's a lot of fun to me.
It's like click.
But I want to posit you an example. Okay. So let's say that there was a list of 10 golden things that you can do that all YouTube content creators can do in order to get more views. Just like a list of 10 things. Do these things, and suddenly traffic comes your way like never before. Well, let's then say that 1,000 YouTubers do that, and then 10,000 YouTubers do that, and so much so that I feel like at that point, those 10 golden things lose they lose that effect of being different and being cutting edge, because now everybody's doing it. So if like, for example, well, let's shorten the intro, and now nobody has intros anymore. All YouTube videos start out a certain way. I get that that's more appealing to a certain demographic, kids. But then to me, everybody's just doing the same thing.
You're losing your own creativity.
You've lost your sense of identity and uniqueness, because all you're doing is following the roadmap that everybody else wants to follow to get to the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
See, how I want to be creative on my stuff is using those formulas, but doing it in the way that I enjoy. As in, when I make a guide, I want to be a thorough guide, but it still be a comedy. As silly as that sounds, I think that would be funny. Like, people would come just to watch it because it's a comedy, but then people come to watch it because, oh, this guy actually explained how to beat the boss, but it's hilarious. And that's what I want to start, like, with my personal content, is start making when I do guides. When I make contemplation videos, yeah, kiddo, you can come up and grab it. When I make compilation videos, I want to do the comedy thing, because I personally like watching that funny stuff. Yes, it's kind of like niche and cliche to the rest of like what we're talking about, but the thing is, like, that's kind of what I want to do too. I know it will click, it'll get more clicks. I know it will make someone laugh, and I know it will help someone. I like making people laugh doing stupid shit. I like writing guides and be like, hey, try this and then I like making videos on games. So I think it's like, for my personal feel, is that I think that would be a good, like, for my content, I think that would be good. It's just, I don't know how to do it yet, like, when it comes to this. And I know that in YouTube, that would be like kind of like a newish kind of thing. I've never seen a personal guide. Come on, kiddo, come on. I never actually seen a guide that is, here you go, here's the laptop. That is, you'll need the charger too. That actually is funny and comedy, but yet so descriptive that the guide is telling exactly everything that is going on. And and I'm really curious on, like, how can I actually put that together?
Right.
And I haven't been able to, because I've just thought of it like within the last couple weeks, and I haven't had time or a game where I could do that. Like, I look at Star Wars and I'm like, oh my God, this is too much. I got like 300 markers I got to go through and edit. And with like working 6 days a week, I don't have the time to really do that. And it's like, I don't even know if it's worth it because my other guide is not even like getting any clicks. And it's been up for a couple weeks now. And I'm like, I don't know. But I also didn't find it too fun. That's why I just might not do it. And that's just my personal feelings about it. What's up? What you need? Oh, you're trying to unplug it? Okay. Yeah, that one is in there. You got it? All right.
If I could just, because 2 examples immediately come to mind.
Okay.
First off is my personal take on tutorials on YouTube, and I'm probably a little bit more mechanical, and I don't really want too much comedy in my tutorials because I believe that comedy, if someone is good at comedy, then that is a winning formula for tutorials on YouTube. But you have to be good. If you are not funny, but you think you're funny and you try to do YouTube tutorials, it could end up coming right back in the face for you. It could be hard to watch and people might not like it as much. So for me, I like it when they get to the point. And that's my second example, is what immediately came to mind when you brought that up was there's a YouTube channel that is the premise of the channel is just tell me how to do it already. Because there's kind of a meme about tutorials on YouTube that they take forever to get to the point.
Yeah, like 15, 20 minutes to get to the point, and you're sitting there watching and they never got to the point.
Yeah, so this one guy had this great idea, and he the tutorial is a guy saying, it has an intro, believe it or not. It's like 2 seconds. It says, just tell me how to do it already. Right. And then like is this character yelling at the screen. And then he literally just walks you step by step in as fast as possible as you can, with as little delay between each instruction. And the videos end up being like a minute, 2 minutes. They're so digestible. And that to me is hilarious, that this guy was able to kind of pay attention to what was going on YouTube and react to it and create something different and that people could really use, but also enjoy.
That's kind of what I'm going for. I already got the short guide content down, like to be able to get stuff going, but I want to make it entertaining too. Maybe not like that, because that does sound pretty cool. Like, hey, yeah, like get to the point already. And you like there was like TikTok is still kind of a new platform. I'm actually going to write some guides on how-tos because my wife knows how to, and I'm going to just be like here, or put it on her channel because she's the TikTok person. And there's a lot of stuff that makes no sense. It's 15 minutes long, but it's like, you never even told me what the point, how to do this.
Yeah.
What? Like, come on now.
Because people tend to like, they start off a video and they will ramble and even talk about like, oh, hey, so before we get into this tutorial, I was driving and I got some apples from the grocery store. It's like, nobody cares. People are here because they want to see how to work a Macintosh computer. They want to see how to do something in a video editing program, So they're not there to like hear your life story. I'm actually gonna. Do you mind if I link it in the chat so people?
I don't care. Yeah, hopefully nothing picks it up. If it does, I'll just allow it.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I'm looking at these videos. They're like 25 seconds, 23 seconds, 28 seconds. It's really quite genius.
But the problem is why people make the longer videos. I don't know if you know this, but the goal is just over 10 minutes of a video on YouTube. The reason is double ads. And to me, I see no point in that. Yeah, I feel like unless it's something like this and we're having a discussion and talking about something pretty in depth of how we feel and from our experiences, no, I don't see a point in wasting people's times unless it's like a very in-depth conversation. If you're playing a game, like my next main game I want to concentrate on is Final Fantasy VII Remake, which comes out in April. I got time before it comes out. That's why I might actually finish the Star Wars guides. But my point is with that, every single weapon has a leveling system, and I want to break down every single weapon. So that way, like, people understand what weapon does this do, what skill does this do. And I'm going to be quick with it. What's up, Blood? And Drew, what did you say? You remember Susan was hosting some online matches of DOA and was you just like to set up everything? I'm really Drew is proud of you for what you did on DOA.
Thank you.
And
that's what I like. I really like. Excuse me. I really like the. I'm getting all choked up. I really like the. I really like connecting with people and all the different people that I've met through be it YouTube, be it Twitch, be it Instagram. It's incredible.
What I love about this is an outlet. Like, content creation is an outlet for me to make things that even years down the road someone can look at and be like, oh, I just learned something new. I touched someone's heart in a sense, and that's how I look at content creation. I don't know why, but I've always loved helping people. If I see someone struggling with something, I always want to jump in and be like, try this out, do this instead, try this, and you can do this. And most of the time they don't listen because they're not looking for it. But in this way, I can make something that is searchable that people are looking for. So it's an awesome feeling for me that I can actually sit here and create something and help someone out. And as you touched on how many people you meet, I've met some really awesome people, and then I've met some real mean people.
The internet has both flavors.
Yeah. Like, there's the people are in the middle of the ones we communicate with. The other ones are just, the one's awesome. The other one's like, can I have Fury? Can I borrow your whip for a little bit? Or war? Thank you. Can this be a real sword? If I put this on TikTok, it'll get flagged and taken down. Anyway. And it's so awesome. Like everything that everyone you meet and stuff and everything. It's so awesome. Just like this guy is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. And don't forget, your videos are, I mean, unless something happens to the channel or the website, they're basically forever. I mean, they will exist. So you're telling stories and you're creating entertainment that could potentially live on many lives past you. And I think that's exactly really cool.
And like
another point I wanted to bring up for the debate part of this debate is that, you know, a lot of artists don't get appreciated until after they've passed away. That's like a big thing, especially for painters back in the day. The biggest example being Van Gogh. Da Vinci, Van Gogh. Yeah, they were not appreciated when they were alive, but now we regard them as classics, as you know, if you're anybody that's anybody in painting, you know who these people are, and you know of their work.
As we call it content creation now, any form of artistic work, as in writing, poetry, anything, like any form of art in any sense, is so underappreciated until years down the line. Be like, wow, this guy created this? How? Like,
yep.
But then also that coincides with having the right people see it, having the right eyes see it. And you have the right people see it, then you're golden. And what's up, Finn? Long time. That's what I love about like just content creation. It's so much fun. It's a lot of work. It drives you nuts because you start getting like, you want to see people like it, you want to reach people, then you don't see the numbers, you get kind of depressed and discouraged, and you're like, nah, fuck it, I'm gonna keep doing it anyway because it's so much fun.
Yeah. And that's why I think the most important things, I think the most important thing to have in as a content creator is to have your perseverance above all else, is to just not be discouraged by bad numbers, not be discouraged by bad feedback, and also to have a clear, focused direction of what you want to do. And again, I really appreciate you giving me this advice, because I totally understand that you're trying to help. I really appreciate that. But I am very stubborn as a creator. And I absolutely want to have, I want to have the intro, because I want us to make sure that each of the episodes has like it's like a show. I'm obsessed with media. I love TV.
The intro's awesome. The intro's awesome. I personally like it. Yeah.
So it's like, yeah. So basically,
exactly.
I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna keep. I like Let's Plays as a style of content. I think in all these little tricks and all these different types of videos that people make on YouTube, you shouldn't really see them as the paintbrush. You should see them as the color of the paint. They're different styles. You could blend them. You could mix them. You could pick and choose. But I don't think you should ever feel lock down that this is
that you have to do this, that you have to take this route. Like, it's just from watching these people. I'm like my recent editor I use for videos, he told me you should watch the top end streamer and the top end YouTuber in your field and see what you can get from them and how to make your videos better. I was like, huh. And that's exactly what I did. I looked at that shampoo. I don't even know that person. I can't stand that person. It's like a persona, but it's that high strong energy that everyone wants. I'm not that high strong energy, but I was watching it as an example. I'm like, okay, there's a whole bunch of screen interactions. There's a whole bunch of random, like, oh my God, type moments. And that's what people like. It's like the comedy and what WTF kind of stuff. Now for others, like just in general, when you're creating content, looking at the numbers, you can't. If you're seeing that something's doing good, okay, learn from it, see what you can do on your next video with that if you want to. Now, you could expect it to get good numbers, but it might not. It might get nothing. It might get only like 10. And you're just like, why did that only get 10 when I'm using the exact same thing as before, but it doesn't matter. It didn't catch the right eyes, or someone just thought it was like too many people didn't like it. That's you thought it was good, but it wasn't. And you're just like,
what I've learned is to expect nothing.
Exactly. If you make something out of fun because you enjoy it, that's all you need to worry about.
Yeah.
Use the stuff that you learn from down the line, add it in, because it will grab people. It will boost up everything. It will boost up your knowledge and just who you are. And then you'll have a different type of growth, either internally or your channel will grow. And that's what really matters. Let's see. I'm missing the chat. Tom. Are the ones I actually posted in there. My son loves Ryukar. And I haven't really watched them. I just glance at them, but I hear them all the time because my son's watching Ryukar all the time. And I hear that he's like really quick to the point. Like if there's a driest moment, like right now, that little S section that was silent would have been cut out and straight to the next point. So there's constant words and there's constant like zoom ins and some funny moments. He's never done talking when you watch his videos. And I've seen other YouTube streamers that do the same thing if it's like gaming content. That other one, annoying as all hell, but high energy. And that's another form. Wow, there's a lot of like random screen moments, like a screen tear, or like you throwing a game at a window and breaking it. I wish you did that for real. That would have been cool. But yes, it is. Silence is number one killer. But if you're not going, if you're like going for a different style and genre, go like as in like your videos, by all means do what you want to do, and you'll get to how you want to go and where you're going to go. However, it's how you're going to go. But like it's the formula is, it is high strung energy. It's no silence, and it's a lot of screen movement. You got those three things. The video will do good once people see it. But if you're up to doing what you want to do, it doesn't matter. It's whatever makes you happy is what makes you happy. And that's the problem.
So I want to touch a couple of points. Energy. So you're absolutely right. And that's something we've gotten comments before. And it's you want to also talk about internal growth. I used to not be able to take criticism until I started doing all of this stuff, because it was like a bad thing. But now I listen. And I've been thinking about it a lot, like how can I personally make myself, how can I increase my energy? I also work, I work a 40-hour job, and I tend to be really tired. I tend to be really tired for streams. Mm-hmm. Like as much as I want to bring it out, I find that after work, I'm drained. I'm usually drained, and everything that every time I'm on stream after work, it's fumes. I'm operating on fumes. I'm doing the best I can. And maybe you can't hear it through the mic, but oftentimes my voice ends up even cracking several times.
You can see it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have always thought like, maybe I could drink some coffee. Maybe
that
I could
helps.
start
you just won't sleep.
to kind of de-stress myself, meditate more. I also heard that exercising in the morning from a friend, like, not, you weren't telling me for like YouTube stuff, but just personally, exercising in the morning gives you more energy throughout the day. Like, there are different things I would like to address energy, but at this point, it's like I'm doing the best I can. Another one of the points that you brought up was, the cuts. I've actually started experimenting with the screen movements. I have been experimenting with that in the beginning. So if you go back and watch like the earliest Toostupidgamerz episodes, it was just raw, like, recording. So same as mine.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
We have absolutely, and I think I was more the impetus on this, but we have absolutely started to embrace jump cuts. And you are right, it does work. It makes the video punchier, makes the video easier to watch. Sometimes a conversation, even if you're just hanging out with your friends, kind of dies, and you're just sitting around with your friends, and that's fine. But for people watching on YouTube, yeah, the attention spans are kind of low. People want to just see like boom, 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 boom jokes and stuff. So we definitely do that. Now that our latest 2 playthroughs have been where we're actually on the camera, that's of Resistance and of No More Heroes, like, we have the option to also do the screen stuff because we're on the camera, and it's kind of fun. It has been fun to mess around with that a little bit, because we'll say something stupid, or like my buddy will say something, or we'll have like a funny reaction. We could kind of zoom into it or do something with it. I like to see where that style of Let's Play would take our channel personally.
I mean, as you see, you get growth. You will get growth, but the problem is with YouTube, which I can't stand, is that it's the 4,000 watch hours on top of 2,000 or 1,000 subs. I can understand 1,000 subs, but what if you have real short content that like a lot of people are not there to consume? Like, and it's like, so let's say I just make all short video content that's just meant for like particular games. I would never hit that 4,000 watch hours. I mean, just for one guide that people only watch a third or 2/3 of it, I have a decent amount of watch hours, but it still isn't enough. I need at least like 20 videos like that to be able to hit that.
My friend, I have the solution. I have the solution for you, and it's a brand new type of video that I have become obsessed with.
What's that?
It's what I like to call the video essay. It is where people do months of research and they end up making like a 3-hour video talking about like a specific topic with amazing editing and really good jump cuts. And you would think that, okay, so maybe that's not going to work because YouTube has the short attention spans and like people want punchy content. But no, I can send you a bunch of videos where they are upwards of an hour, 2 hours, just talking about one single topic, but really going in on it, and they have like hundreds of thousands of views, like even sometimes like millions.
Holy shit!
Yeah, so I'm like, that will probably fix the watch time problem, assuming you have months of time to do research.
No, I don't. I could try months of time. I mean.
Because it's like I used to love doing I believe it or not, I used to love essay writing in college and school. Once I learned what the formula was, I had all this freedom because I wasn't worried about passing or failing because I knew how to do it. So I always tried to like mess around and see if I could make my professor, my teachers laugh. I want to say that my crowning achievement was having my English teacher in high school ask me if I was on magic mushrooms when I wrote one of my essays.
Some good old shrooms, huh?
But I did like essays. So when I discovered that people were basically doing that in video form, I just thought that was the best. Like any topic that you like, especially gaming, sports, it ends up coming off like a documentary. And I would actually like to make one of those one day if I did have the time for that, but I don't right now.
Yeah, we could do something like that one day, because that would be very cool. That's like what Alpha Gaming, this one other guy, does live streaming. They literally sit there and they'll talk about like growth and like say Twitch, Alpha Gaming, and this. I wish I remember this other guy's name, but in a YouTube video I watched, he explained Twitch streamers and what they're going to become within the next 5 years and his predictions. and his prediction is that within like the next like 5 to probably 10 years is that Twitch streaming is going to turn like live streamers, just how it's going to be. It's going to be like how TV shows are. Like you sit there and watch it, and you sit there and have a show, but then you have to have other people around you. Like say we do this, and right now at the point we have an editor that's literally just doing highlights, watching the video, clicking the highlight button, and be like, okay, we need to do this, like just have it ready, download the stream, download the highlight markers and see, and with the notes, and then have the editor, as soon as we're done editing the video and then getting ready to upload it. And then we have a promoter that takes that and promotes it to all the media outlets that they can promote it to. And then a manager telling us, hey, you need to do this next. Study this, get this down. And but that's for a person who's trying to do content creation full time.
I was just gonna say, like, is that manager part that kind of gets to me, because to me it's like I already have one full-time job, and you can't do
but that's where content creation would be your full-time job at this point. And that's what he's explaining. Like for people who want to do content creation as a full-time job, that is what will happen, because you need to be able to free up your time to create the content as much as you can, so that everyone else can take over the other portions to make that content as get the most monetary value out of it. So the producer, the promoter, and the editor can get paid. Because if they do their job, you get paid, they get paid. And that's kind of like what content creation is going to end up being, where you sit here like how Conan Carnage and all these other Twitch live streamers that are live all day, but then right after that you got an editor doing other stuff with the video and posting it online, so it's double the content, and then posting it elsewhere. That's why I do want to make this to the point where it's literally my second job, and I'm able to do stuff. That's why I'm going to start doing TikTok once I get my cosplay of Cloud Strife, because
nice.
Because the amount of people who see your content, you could bring them to your YouTube, and you could bring them to Really Blood, really. I don't know what that's pertaining to, but I know you, babe. But anyway, you could bring that audience to YouTube, your Twitch account, your Twitter, all your social media, so they can stay updated. Because if you got a million followers on TikTok, about 10% of that's going to go to going to follow you on Twitch and follow you on YouTube. And so you got that 10% that goes on other channels. That's 10% more because I'm using another social media outlet. There are so many social media outlets. I wish I could spend an hour on each a day. And no, I am not going to edit it. I do not. I like editing, but I don't like editing. No. But with that being said, I'm personally trying to use. I want to put an hour towards moot.us. I don't even know if you heard of that. I think I talked moot.us. Have you ever heard of Facebook?
Yes, I have.
Have you heard of Reddit?
Yeah, I've heard of Reddit.
Combine those two and make it just for gaming.
Okay.
That's what it is.
Right.
There's little kids all over it. They love it. I love it. I just don't have the time to put into it. So it's with social media, I want to be able to put an hour into, and this would be each day, an hour into Moot, Twitter, and TikTok about 3 hours or longer, depending on how long it takes videos, and then something else per day. Maybe not TikTok, but TikTok at least once a week to get enough videos out for the week to a day. But at least 30 minutes to an hour on those social media platforms, communicating with people, getting your name out there, and then doing TikTok like that, and then going to live stream later in the evening. You'll meet a lot more people faster. You'll be able to grow your channels faster. And even with your content, if you had the time to sit there on Twitter, meet new people and just randomly talk to them, same with moot.us, same with Facebook, same with Reddit. I hate Reddit. I prefer Discord. But Discord, you have to find an actual server to hop in. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can do that. That is kind of easy. But Discord, yeah,
So
exactly. Networking on the next level.
We actually, so yeah, again, we're doing simultaneous playthroughs of No More Heroes and Resistance, and that's a can of worms. We could definitely get into that too if we have time. But we actually got reached out to by somebody who watched one of our Resistance videos, and they were like, "Hey, listen, you should come to this Resistance Discord because I'm a member of it. There's a lot of people over here. We all love Resistance, and I'm sure some of these people would even like to see some of your videos." So now, I'm not the Resistance fan. My friend is. Zero is the huge Resistance fan.
Okay.
So he went over there and he started to, like he did promote some of our videos. I'm sure he's engaging them as well and like actually participating in the Discord. He's not just there to spam our videos. But yeah, I mean, like people, it took a while, but like, yeah, I mean, at some point we do get a comment and like we do get reached out to by people that want to connect like our communities to their communities. Even somebody who's watching Royal PBJ, Drew, he ended up we met through playing PSN. We were both fans of DOA. We both played DOA 5 back in the day, and we just added each other, and then today we just exchanged Twitch and YouTube. So like, no, you're absolutely. It's undeniable that social media is like the way to spread the content. I was,
but I gotta stop you right there. But you can't just post your videos, and I learned that the hard way.
Yeah,
you just post your videos, it's gonna get nothing. Now, on Facebook, someone says, "Hey, how do you beat this boss?" I'm like, "Here, watch this. I made this." Like that's different.
To respond to people. You have to see what people actually want.
Exactly, and so from I learned from it because before I started content creation, I hated social media. I just could not stand it. I would ask Blood all the time, like, "Why are you on Facebook? It's just drama." But now I'm like, man, I need to use all these. I need to at least like stay. I know I do too, but I like it at the same time because that's how I met you, Finn. So, point being, I want to spend time on Twitter and Facebook and like at least like 20 minutes to an hour on each of them a day, just like engaging in people, talking to people, just not even spreading, saying, "Hey, look at me, I do this," but like, "Hey, how are you? Oh, this happened to you? Oh, that's cool. Damn, that sucks." Like random conversations, and then like if they start following you or you're following them and then they realize it and they're like, "Oh, let's follow this guy since he does talk to me," and then you're like, "I do this too," they're like, oh, they're more enticed and want to actually come visit you.
Yeah, and then some guy you met on Twitch comes on your Twitch stream to podcast.
Right, like you know where I got that? If it was not for Alpha Gaming, when watching a video on how to grow on Twitch, that I would not have met you.
That's true.
Dead serious. Because he's like, go to like find someone who's around your level of viewership and meet those people. Like talk to them. And like see how they are, see if if you could click with them. If you don't, then move on. And that's what I did. I've met I met Zelerius, I met Finn. I forgot how I met you, Finn, but I think it was with SMK, but then social media at the same time. That's how I met Kugla through you. It's like that's how I met Solmus, which is my partner in crime right now in freaking Call of Duty. If I'm on Call of Duty, Solmus 44 is there.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten into Twitch at all if it wasn't for my buddies Bulbtastic and Vinny, and Kugla, because I saw what they were doing, and Kugla was telling me like, "Hey, why don't you do a Twitch stream? Yeah. It's better, like, why not?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm open-minded. I'll give it a shot." I saw what they were doing, and I thought it was interesting, so I gave it a shot, and I like it. I would almost. I like both. I would even say I like them equally, but some days I really feel like I like streaming just a little bit better.
I love streaming overall more so than actual like YouTube, because streaming is just live. It's like in your face what's happening then and now. You get to experience what the streamer is feeling emotionally. Man, I feel for this guy. He worked all day. Now he's doing this. Man, I don't know how he's doing it. But you get those feelings and emotions. But wow, YouTube, totally different beast, and it's like it's crazy when I've watched it and seen it. I'm like, holy crap, it's so different. You want to like grow and get bigger on it, but then when you're making videos, you're like, man, I'm so tired. Like I'm going click 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 click, right? Just to show you on the camera, like the proof. This is like, and then you get there, you go to do the voiceover. It's just like, fuck. What do I say here? Okay, this happens. All right, and then you're like, all right, when the boss does this, you're gonna have to dodge to the left. And you're like, man, that has no energy. Then you got to be like, all right, when the boss is doing this and coming at you, you really gotta like dodge to the left, because you don't, you're gonna get wrecked. Like you got to do It's like, man, you got to really rethink what you do, and when you do, it's a better production, because when you listen to it back, you're like, man, that did. But then by the time you're done with that, you're like,
I could have streamed in this time.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. And that's why it's like, that's where we were talking about earlier with having a full-time editor taking it apart and being like, here, you need to put this over these parts. And then you're like, oh, that's easy. It cuts that whole like 3 to 4 hours of shorting a video to only like maybe 2 hours of voiceovers. So instead of a 7-hour day, it turns into a 2-hour day.
Mm-hmm. Now you want to try to cut that time down as much as possible. That's how you do batch processing. That's why you do photographers do batch processing.
What the hell is that?
So instead of with Photoshop, you have the option. It's a little tricky. I only successfully did it like once, but so let's say you're a photographer of cosplay and you go to a convention. If you go to a convention and you're there for like 5 hours, you're coming home with about 1,000 pictures. If you're like a professional photographer, the time it would take to edit each individual, you would die. That would be the end of your life, editing that one day of pictures. So what they do is they come up with filters, they come up with all the effects, the color correction that they're going to do for a set, and then they set up this command line in Photoshop so that it does the exact same processing to all the pictures. So basically, yeah, I mean, they all look the same, and it does kind of have a cool effect, but then you've saved so much time by just basically editing one picture, maybe like 2 or 3 pictures, and then have Photoshop take care of the rest for you. It's really quite fascinating.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I also wanted to jump on something real quick, because earlier you were talking about not just spamming your videos, like, hey, here you said, hey, here's who I am. This is what I do. When you go check out all these different social media platforms and you're trying to connect with different people, I feel like that's very vapid if you did end up doing something like that. And, you know, like,
wait, vapid? What is that?
Very like empty, very like hollow.
Yeah, I've learned that.
Like it's so obvious that you're not actually interested in meeting someone or like talking to someone or connecting on a mutual interest. You're just interested in promoting your content. And, you know, people do this. They pay for bots so that they could go spam YouTube comments and send DMs on Twitter and Instagram to like, hey, I'd really appreciate it if you go follow me over here. And I gotta ask everybody in the audience is like, because I'm sure we've all experienced it if we're on social media or any of these platforms. Do you remember the name of a single person that did that to you? Because I don't. I see the messages, delete them, and I just move right on.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
It's so empty and it's so transparent what you're about. You know, you're just about the success part. Yeah, and I want to be different than that. I would like to actually
but I think we all have gone through a phase where we're like, here, why don't you watch this a little bit? I got this for you. I think we've all been there, but then after we realize, wow, this is like, if you're smart enough, you sit back and realize like, this doesn't work. I actually have to get to know people. And for me on social media, I never knew how to do that. I had no clue how to do that. I just decided to like, here, look at this, because I'm trying to promote something. But then I realized like, if I get something in the mail, I throw that shit out.
Yeah.
Someone comes to, like, I get Jehovah's Witnesses. I ask them, do you celebrate Halloween? They go, no. I'm like, I guess you don't like random people knocking at your door. And so it's like, after realizing that, I was just like, you know, I get it. Now it's to the point where, okay, let's meet people, let's get to know people. And as I said, that's how I met you. That's how I meet a lot of people now. I've met a few other streamers that I haven't had time to really talk to them. And because like it's just been so many lately, it's hard to keep up with everyone. But at the same point, I had someone, I followed them when they weren't streaming. I stopped in their stream. I'm like, hey, what's up? I'm like, hey, sorry, but I got to go. I'm going to be getting ready. And they're like, what are you getting ready for? Well, I live stream a little bit. I don't like to impede on people because it's their show. I learned that the hard way too. And that person actually showed up in my chat for like 10 minutes. And I was like, hello, hi. I didn't expect that because I don't expect anything from anyone. It's just like I realize now is I'd rather just meet people. I'm having such a good time just saying hi, how are you, meeting all these people. There's so many times my wife's like, who are you talking to? I'm like, I'm talking to this person. You're typing a huge ass sentence. I'm like, yeah, it's a long conversation. As you see, like when I type to you, like usually it's like pretty long. And I'm typing this while I'm holding mail and at work.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the stuff about YouTube, that was all at work when I'm delivering mail. Yes.
That's nuts. And I try not to get in trouble at work and not do that stuff too. But I like sometimes you just feel compelled to like just go talk to somebody, and that's why these platforms are so great.
Yeah. Well, luckily I got a job where if I move faster throughout the day, I could get done earlier and still meet my time requirement.
Oh, okay. Everybody has work perks.
You know, yes. It's a pain in the ass because I work 6 days a week.
Yeah. Yeah, so I can totally understand that.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, like, you know, the whole point of this.
No. Real quick, Googla, have no expectations. Dead serious. If you have no expectations of anything in your life, everything will be surprising. Everything. I didn't expect this conversation to go as far as it did. And it's going really smooth. I was kind of scared because, like, I wasn't sure if I was going to offend you or not. Because but I knew I wouldn't. But I always have that fear that I'm going to offend someone. But no expectations. Then you get one click. You're like, oh my god, I gotta click yes.
That's again where I like to set myself apart or try to do things a little bit differently. You know, I've argued with people all my life, just like anybody has, and I noticed that, you know, the sooner you become emotional about it, the sooner you are offended, you've already pretty much lost. You're overheating yourself, and you're like a raging bull in that moment, and you're not really going to be able to form a cohesive argument, a well-structured, well-thought-out argument, or even consider what the other person is actually saying to you when you have rage in your eyes. You know, it just doesn't work like that. So I read all of those words and nothing offended me there. It was all contrary to what we do and what we're about, but it wasn't really about, you know, do I feel good because of what FinalHarps say? It was more like, I want to listen to what he has to say. And on top of that, I want to say things back to him. I want to come up with my own arguments, and I want to defend my own position and see how he responds, you know, kind of like a debate.
Yeah, so it was awesome. I love this. Like, for another thing, all these people I've met, now I started meeting people on PlayStation Network, and we through live chat, like just talking, and I'm streaming. So I tell the people, I'm like, hey, I'm streaming, and if they slip up and say a word, I understand. Like, Twitch is one of those where their acceptance, you can't, but they kind of accept it if you take action on it immediately. So if I'm playing with someone and they say a word, I'd be like, hey, you can't say that on when I'm streaming, or I can get my thing banned because people don't like that word.
Yeah.
Well, I had a recent scenario happen to me. I had a person where he said one day after saying that, I'm like, hey, can you not say that because I can get in trouble? He said he wouldn't say it. A day later, we're playing. He said it again, and it was the one that starts with R, ends with D.
Okay.
And I said, you can't say that because I can get in trouble, and you said you wouldn't already. Then he came back and said, for what, saying this? And then, well, I'm not going to change what I'm going to say just because you're streaming. I'm like, okay, I have to mute you. And even my buddy who's with me said, well, he'll just mute you. I mean, it's okay. It doesn't, like, whatever. So I muted him.
Yeah. You gave
And
him fair warning, and
I
he didn't
did.
listen.
And so that whole night, ooh, ooh, if no one heard it, you good. But
He's sorry though. The other guy wasn't.
yeah, this guy didn't care. You didn't mean to, but you still gotta watch it. People can. Yeah, I actually blacklisted him, but this is why I blacklisted him. Now, 2 days later, I'm live streaming, and I had viewers that when that night happened pop out and then ask me, "Hey, what happened? Like with that guy?" I said, "Well, this guy was saying a word that's against Twitch TOS, and I asked him not to say it. Then he kept saying it, so I had to mute him. And I guess he's upset that I had to mute him because he was upset." My other buddy's like, "Hey, he hears you, he was popped in your stream and heard you talking shit about him and wants you to tell it to his face." I'm like, okay, because I wasn't talking shit about him. I was just explaining that he was being ignorant to not respecting my wishes. Because what if I personally found that offensive, and I just didn't want to say that? So I go into chat. I had it muted, so you couldn't hear his side. He started getting all upset with me, and what's ironic is that his brother was in the chat too, and I muted him also. But I told him, like, "Hey, you're playing a different game. I don't want to hear cross chatter about a different game when we're playing this one."
That sounds terrible.
And so I muted him, forgot he was muted, and I didn't realize it was his brother. And I kind of found that amusing, like, wow, I actually muted brothers. That's interesting. So with that being said, I told him, like, "Dude, I asked you, you said you would do it, and then a few days later you said you wouldn't do it. I can go back." He's like, "No, I didn't say that." I'm like, "Yes, you did. You did say you would not change the way you would speak because I am streaming." I even have that as a clip on my channel for just personal preference, like saying I'm not sure, I wasn't, to see if like I was going insane.
Yeah.
And I wasn't. I went back, checked it out. I'm like, okay, he actually did say that, and that's on him. So he started like getting all mad at me, said he was going to he talked to a partner, a Twitch partner, and a Twitch affiliate, saying that it's okay if I say that on there. I'm just like, no, shut up, babe. I'm getting to the point. So he was just like, maybe he lose my train of thought. God damn it.
The partner, and he said he knew these people, and they said it's okay for him to say it. No, because I know someone who's been doing it for 6 years, and he's like, "No, you can't say that. You could get banned immediately, even if it wasn't you, but you'll be able to get your account back because it wasn't you, because you could fight it, because you'd be like, I didn't have control of him, but I banned him from my channel." Yeah. It wasn't something that Twitch is very iffy on those things. It seems to be like sometimes this applies, sometimes it doesn't. There's obviously a lot of gray area with some of these rules.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, me personally, I've had to deal with this a lot too, and I take the offense part out of it. I don't even see it like, well, I have to cut back on what I say. It's just these platforms, these streaming or video uploading platforms are they're platforms that belong to somebody else. They have a set of rules, and they're giving you the opportunity to spread your message, to create little stories, to create entertainment for people. That's what you want. Then you have to abide by their rules. Anything that you do that goes against their rules, I mean, you may think it's not fair, you may not like it.
No, check this out. I'm actually making a video. Have you ever heard of the streamer Sweet Anita? She was all over gaming news recently because it was the only big thing that happened recently.
The name is familiar, but no, I don't.
She has Tourette's syndrome. She dropped the N-bomb live on Twitch numerous times, and she couldn't. She was trying to get to the mute button, and she really couldn't because she has Tourette's. It's a tick. And I'm actually, with those other words, all those words actually have deep meaning to it, and a lot of people who don't understand that, and it's just like, how do you not understand this? So I'm personally, actually, today was supposed to be the day I worked on it, but I spent more time with my son because I haven't been able to. So then I worked on this, so I got this going, and I think it looks really good. I got things done. I also edited something else, but back on point, I'm going to be making a video explaining why and the history of what these words actually mean that Twitch terms of service have against and why. Because like me, I used to use that R word all the time with the last letter being D all the time. Never saw it offensive, but then here and there it's like, wait, what? It's actually offensive? I never thought of that. So I'm going to look into history of all the words and put them in a video and pretty much explain that, yeah, what Sweet Anita did would offend people, but at the same point, you can't get upset with her because it was a tick, it was an accent, kind of combine all that into one.
Yeah.
Yes, it is, Finn.
So I think it's very interesting that you brought up that example, which by the way, I know absolutely nothing about, but yeah, I mean, another approach that I had, because I've also had to learn, I mean, I didn't say any horrible words, but I also had to learn to kind of just watch what I say in general. I also avoid topics and certain things that are uncomfortable and I feel like have no place in the video about gaming. But one of the things I've learned over the years is that, yes, for someone like Sweet Anita, it's not easy because she has a disability. But for everyone else that doesn't have that disability, it's really not that hard to just reserve yourself, and to if you want to be a content creator, you're going to have to train yourself to stop saying certain things, stop acting like such an immature high school student, and just like cut back. And I don't cut back on swearing on our channel. I'm fine with that. I mean, I have cut back on it, but I don't have any intention of getting rid of swearing. But I do see that is part of the process. You do have to be a content creator, to be a successful one. You do have to learn to cut back on all of that stuff. And it's not that hard, but you do have to practice it still.
Yes, you do. Like tonight, my goal was to not curse. Like, and I dropped a couple F-bombs. I'm like, no, but
I don't know if it's counting, but I've also been trying to not do any.
Yeah. I don't think you have, but I have at least 3 to 4 times. But it's just my emotion. That's like my main word and go-to. But just the fact of like watching and like learning all these things that I never realized what actually offend people. And I always thought people were just easily, like some people are just easily offended. Like with the major thing is like a lot of people get offended. Thank you for the biddies also for the N-bomb. And what's strange and ironic, it's mostly white people nowadays, Caucasians. And it's like, why are you getting so offended when it's actually on the other community that all this history happened to? Like, that's the weird thing. And I've experienced that firsthand. That's why I'm saying it. Like, what?
I see.
But
it's like these are all such complicated, big issues with like crazy amounts of history and crazy amounts of like cases to them. None of this I honestly believe that you should sanitize your language and sanitize your content a bit, because look, somebody clicking on a video of 2 guys playing No More Heroes on YouTube is not interested in hearing about politics, is not interested in hearing about religion, sex,
No, everyone's interested in that one. Don't. Not what your preference is, but everyone's interested in that. Now, for politics, no one cares. Now, for the religion, no one cares. That's your own personal business. It's not about games. It's not this. Unless your channel is about politics, who cares? You're interested now. Well,
No More Heroes. I want to watch these 2 guys play. I want to see what insightful stuff or funny jokes they can make about the game. And you know what? I think it makes it for a better watch, because and actually, you know what? This also goes with being a content creator, because I feel like this is something that I came up with a long time ago. But like from a content creator point, somebody who wants to be successful, somebody who wants traffic, you're gonna alienate people if you talk about certain things or if you act in a certain way. That's why all the big content creators usually they don't talk about certain stuff like that. Usually they just do the thing that they like to do. Because if you start to talk about all of these hot, controversial topics, on one hand, it could have a positive effect, but bring a lot of negative people to you. But on the other hand, it could alienate people. That's what I kind of believe.
Yes.
Because I know that I personally, when I watch a video on YouTube or a Twitch stream, like I'm not interested in drama. I'm not interested in controversy. I want to click on something to forget about all that stupid stuff and just, watch somebody play a video game,
Yep.
So
exactly.
It's not hard, folks. Just take it
Yup.
easy, take a deep breath, and when you feel the different word bombs coming on, just put the brakes on. Just don't say the F word. Don't say
Damn
don't
it.
say the S word, whatever, any of the words. Just chill out.
Poop. Sit. Shoot.
Yeah. Or I guess come up with different words
Yep.
instead of saying like, you know,
Well, my
F, say, like,
favorite
damn it.
line whenever I go to a grocery store or any store in general that's retail, I get in line. I always ask the person, "So how was your day?" They're like, "It's good." And then other ones are like, and I'm like, "Oh, one of those days." Well, you know what you got to do in those kind of days? What you do is you think of that word where that customer, only for that customer, that means I hate you. But it actually is have a nice day to them. But you internally meant it out of a different way.
Yeah.
And I always get a laugh out of that. So it's, I don't know,
It's a very practical,
passive
professional
aggressive way. Yep.
of dealing with a situation you don't like being a part of. But then you know what, folks, that situation goes away. You didn't make it worse by handling it like a complete idiot, and then you get to just go on to a better situation. That's
Yep.
what I see.
Well, it makes that situation of whatever it is go by faster instead of lingering. Like I was picking up food from McDonald's a month ago now, and I was in the part where you get your food from the drive-thru, and this person's like, "Oh, there are people fighting. There are people fighting. I'm gonna go out there." And it was a lady. I went, "Ma'am, don't go out there. You're wasting your time because that's their problem and not your problem. And if you get involved, you can get sued and fired."
And hurt. And
Yeah, on top of like anything else. Yeah. And she's like, "What, really?" I'm like, "Yeah, because that's your job is to just call the police and let them take care of it. You getting involved, it's on the company's problem because you did something."
Yeah.
She was just like, "What?" She stayed out of it. The situation dissipated and cops were called. I parked and watched the show. What happened is this guy got jumped, robbed, and he was all bloody everywhere. I'm like, wow, this is messed up.
Yeah.
But if I had a camera, I would have been video recording it because I don't care. As in, like, not as in, like, what I mean by I don't care isn't like, if I'm in a situation like that, I'm already in it. I'm gonna take a camera and record it because it's like cool. Like, wow, this is, you don't see this every day, and that's the kind of person I am. I like catching those kind of moments. Like, of course, I would blur the guy's face out, but yeah.
Okay. Well,
I'm crazy. I'm crazy like that.
It's funny because I feel like to kind of this is an amazing like hour and a half, but I feel like we should kind of start winding it down.
Okay.
And I think were we supposed to debate tonight? Were we supposed to do that?
We had more of like a topic discussion more than a debate.
It doesn't feel like we were debating at all.
Debate. It was more like, hey, these are experiences that we're going through, and as we grow, and this is where we're at now.
Yeah, we had like the start of a debate, and then the rest of it, has just been drawing from experience. And you know what? This has been a lot of fun. I feel like at this point we should probably like give like our final thoughts if we can sum it up, Jerry Springer style. And
all right, you go first.
Go first, okay? So I'm Nanners. I'm one half of Toostupidgamerz, and I've been doing video editing for about 8 years. What I've learned through my creative side is that I like to be different. I like to take a different approach to things. I'm very stubborn, and what I was basically here to talk about was just my ideas, just the different perspective I have from FinalHarps, which comes from the fact that I'm really doing this mostly because it's hobby. We've, of course, me and my friend have talked about like, oh well, what if we did take this to a career at one point? Of course that came up, but I honestly just feel like this would be the best if I just treat it as my hobby. I do it on the side. I'm able to do it the way I like it. I don't have anybody tell me how I'm supposed to do things. What way is going to be the best way for us, what we should do, what kind of videos we should make, our editing style. And I get to just do it the way I want. And I think that's the best. I can look at different content creators that I like. I can pick and choose some of the things that I like that they do, see if I can do them better, see if I can do them in my own way or make them different in somehow. And just generally develop and grow the skills that I have attained through 8 years of using, like Sony Vegas and recently Zero at the start of this channel. Which, by the way, at the beginning, it was all him. It was all his editing. He did the graphics. He's responsible for the intros. So he was spearheading this from the get-go. But being the guy that I am, being how stubborn I am, I had to get involved. And I all had background in video editing. So at that point, he taught me After Effects so I could do some of our episodes as well. And now the two of us do that. So yeah, and then the little cherry on top is that I get to meet all of you guys. The community that we have built through this channel and the other communities that we've gotten to connect with as a result of Two Stupid Gamers has it's just been quite nice. I really enjoy meeting all of you guys, and I really enjoy the times that we shared, talking to people about video games. I love putting my opinions of games out there and bouncing ideas off of what other people think, and just generally having a good time. And I think that's what makes this hobby the best, is having a good time and being creative and just doing it the way that you want to do it.
Okay.
And that's my final thoughts.
All right. Now on to myself. I'm FinalHarps, and I don't know. I came into this thinking of a whole different thing, whole different perspective, and just everything was totally different. And to be honest, I thoroughly enjoyed this. I want to do more of these, but when it comes to like me and content creation, I want to make this like my second job where I can like use this to do more stuff. And I love meeting people. I love helping people. It's my main outlet that I love doing, that I wish I could put more time into, but I just can't, because it's called real life, kids. Real life. It sucks. Don't want to grow up. But as I'm saying is, meeting everyone and having a good time, and I just want to keep doing that, as meet people and have a good time and talk to people and meet more people like you, because you're awesome. And
thank you.
Everyone I have met is so awesome. It's not everyone, 90% of them. And I want to keep going with that. Well, to be honest, that's my take. It was pretty short and to this point, for a change. I'm not like that. And I think that's it. I'm going to personally go to intermission. I think Two Stupid Gamers is going to sign off, unless he's streaming tonight.
No, I'm going to sign off for tonight. I've got a busy day ahead of me tomorrow.
All right, sounds good. I will definitely catch you on your next stream. And when is that?
Next stream will probably be, I'm looking for a either Tuesday or Wednesday stream. If you wanted, you could just check us out on social media or Discord. I always make sure to post to social media or Discord when we're going live. I unfortunately, because of my schedule, can't give like that advance notice and like create an actual Twitch schedule, like a schedule for Twitch. But I do try to give like a notice of, a couple of hours. Yeah. Okay. And also thank you for letting me come on and do this. And thank you for coming into our Discord and giving us that advice. Because again, I know it hurt. You probably thought it would hurt me to read that stuff, but I know you were just trying to help. And,
why do you think I typed what I typed? And what did I type? I typed are you sure you want that? I have lost long-term friendships because of my honesty.
And I've also lost long-term friendships because of honesty in the past. I think we all have at some point, like to some degree. So I was prepared, and I was just generally curious what you would say. And I got to say, you gave a very thorough and productive, constructive answer.
Yeah. Okay. Well, until our next topic, maybe next month, we'll find something to talk about.
Awesome.
And without further ado, have a good night, man.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.